1983, in Lebanon, two boys were told to finish their chores, so they went out to feed the chickens. While feeding the chickens, they see a fighter jet conducting an airstrike. They saw a town close by get hit, and then the jet flew towards them, and they were also hit. Present day, we see Jack Ryan's, one of the MCs, rowing before he starts his day. Jack rides his bike to work, but nearly gets hit. Jack works for the CIA at CTC Terror Finance and Arms Division. Meanwhile, James Guerrero, the other MC, is waiting to meet his boss Nathan, and when they meet, they talk about James's vacation. James was demoted from chief of station in Karachi and was sent to finance department for a second chance. But not a lot of people felt that James deserved it because they wanted him gone. Nathan gives James a warning not to mess things up before James heads out. James walks into the meeting where Jack is at and announces that he's the new chief. James asks everyone to introduce themselves, but when it's Jack's turn, James asks for more detail on what Jack is working on. Jack states that there are several transactions with red flags in Yemen, and he has a theory that the person is a high-level target and his name is Suleiman, aka Musa bin Salman. And James jokes about having a brand new bin Laden on his first day. We go to Syria where a man is looking for Suleiman by Suleiman's wife, Hanabi. Suleiman tells them that he's dealing with business at the moment. The man tells them that they will be staying over, and she wants to see Suleiman. Joe calls Jack and wants to talk with him privately, but not over the phone due to concerns, and Jack agrees to it. In the early morning, Jack is having some flashback of the battlefield, so he just goes to work earlier. After finding something, Jack tells James that he found a new shell company, and in the last 8 days, they totaled $9 million of transactions. Jack just hopes to freeze the accounts, but James turns it down because he thinks Jack isn't there yet. Jack goes behind James's judgment and asks Teresa, who is in the treasury, to write a démarche for Jack to freeze up the account. Pete calls James about the démarche that was ordered by Teresa, and James knew it was Jack's doing. James calls Jack to his office. They have an argument about freezing the accounts because they both have different objectives. Jack wants to prevent another 9/11, while James wants to wrap up the whole network and tells Jack to get out. Hanan offers Answer, one of the men that are staying over, some tea while they are working. While the kids are playing, Hanan tells the kids to wash up and sees Answer and his men loading a truck with a box and sending it off. At Yemen, CIA operatives named Matthijs are watching and following the bank manager. The bank manager meets with two men, and Matthijs's team sets up around the men, find out what they're up to, and to see if they need to be taken out. Due to not being able to hear them, they choose to silently take them in. Back at the CIA, James is going through Jack's personal file and finds out he is the lone survivor out of 12 Marines from a helicopter crash. Pete calls James again about something unbelievable. At the birthday party, Joe asks Jack what the State Department is saying about North Korea so Joe can invest and make some money. But Jack shuts him down. Joe walks off after being turned down, and Jack meets with Joe's daughter, Kathy. They were hitting it off until a helicopter interrupted them, and Jack was taken away by the Coast Guard. Once they land, Jack meets with James, and James tells Jack that he has SAD to watch the bank and didn't tell this to Jack because he didn't know Jack yet. So they head out to Yemen to help interrogate the two captors. The two captors are Omar, a businessman, and Sofan, a bodyguard. Jack asked if they had a phone, and when he called himself, he found out that it's the same number as the transfers. So they move Omar to a bigger room to interrogate him. Some cars roll up to the army base to make a deal to bring the dead bodies from the airstrikes, and the army brings the bodies to be ID'd. One of the dead bodies was still alive and took out a gun. Meanwhile, Jack gives Sofan some food and water and questions him because Sofan's name is Lebanese. Jack asks about Omar, then asks if Sofan has ever heard the name Suleiman, but Sofan tells Jack to be more specific. Another car pulls up and gets gunned down for getting way too close. The car blows up, causing a breach to the gate, and the base is under attack. The guy that snuck in kills Omar and tries to free Sofan. When they open the door, Jack hides behind the door, but Sofan warns the gunmen, and the fight for their lives happens. They are in a stalemate when Jack holds up a grenade, unpinned, and the gunman is pointing a gun at Jack. Jack finds out Sofan is really Suleiman, and Suleiman leaves with the gunman. Matthijs gets into an ACP, pushes back the attackers, while Suleiman escapes, and the attackers also leave. We get a flashback to 1983 after the airstrike. The two boys surviving the airstrike, and now the present day. Two brothers hugging it out while they escape. In Paris, a priest was stabbed and his belongings was taken by two men. Back at the CIA, they are in a meeting watching the fight between Jack and Suleiman and his brother, Ali. They think Suleiman is part of ISIS, but Jack claims Suleiman isn't anymore. Nathan left CTC Europe to oversee the Suleiman case and not TFAD. At the port of Yemen, Suleiman sends Ali to a mission in France because he only trusts his brother. Jack gets his back checked up, and after that, he visits Kathy and asks her out on a date. Back at the office, James gives Jack Suleiman's phone and hope Jack can get it open. Jack gets called by Nathan to help him out on the case, but Jack wants time to think about it. Jack and James work on cracking the phone pin but finds a clue when Suleiman was arrested in France. They bring this to Shelby and tell Shelby they want to check this out. Ali meets a man in France, and the man gives Ali a bag full of SIM cards. Jack, James, and Matthijs arrives in France and are greeted by Sandrine. She also warns them to follow the rules. They are about to make a house bust where Ali is at, but the children at the front alerts Ali that the SWAT team is there. Ali makes one of them a suicide bomber, but before the SWAT goes in to breach the door, they are shot at by Ali's men, and a gunfight begins. Ali escapes, but is found out by Jack when he spots bloodstain on the railing and chases after Ali. The girl wearing the suicide bomb tries to warn the SWAT team, but one of the SWAT guys shot her, releasing the bomb, and it goes off. When the bomb goes off, Ali escapes within the crowd. That's it for part 1. If you want part 2, comment CIA, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and thanks for watching.